AWS provides with several migration tools to help facilitate migrations. There's some tools for storage migration. They also have the server migration service, the database migration service, an application discovery service, and these can all be viewed together under the AWS Migration Hub. Now for storage migration, we've already talked about two of these services, the AWS Storage Gateway and AWS Snowball. The server migration service automates migration of on-prem VMware or Hyper-V virtual machines to AWS, and it can replicate VMs to AWS by syncing volumes and creating periodic AMIs. And this is very useful in disaster recovery scenarios where you want to be sure that your on-prem VMs and volumes are in sync with your cloud-based AMIs and volumes. Another feature of this is it minimizes cutover downtime by only synchronizing those incremental changes to your VMs. It only supports Windows and Linux VMs. That's just because AWS only supports Windows and Linux operating systems. Now the server migration connector is just downloaded as a virtual appliance, and you stand it up on your on-prem vSphere or Hyper-V setup. Now the database migration service can work in conjunction with the schema conversion tool, and it helps customers migrate their databases to RDS or other EC2-based databases. The schema conversion tool can copy database schemas for same database to same database, and it can also convert schemas from different databases. So for example, if you're migrating from Oracle to Aurora, it can do the schema conversion for you. Now DMS is used generally for smaller, simpler conversions, but it also supports NoSQL databases like MongoDB and DynamoDB. SCT is used for larger, more complex data sets like data warehouses. And DMS has a replication function for on-prem to AWS or offloading to Snowball or S3. Now in this diagram, we're showing that the AWS Data Migration Service is helping facilitate a migration for us, and it works together with the schema conversion tool, and we can pipe that data into Redshift, for example, or maybe we can send it to S3 or Snowball if the data is really large and we need to ship it to AWS. Now the application discovery service is pretty nifty. It gathers information about on-premise data centers to help cloud migration planning. And oftentimes, customers just don't even know the full inventory or status of all their assets in their data center. So that's what this service helps with. It collects config and usage data. It also helps in estimating the total cost of running your landscape on AWS. And it can run as agentless in a VMware environment, or it has to have an agent if you're not in a VMware environment. And it only supports OSs that AWS supports, namely Linux and Windows. Now, all these services kind of roll up together and can be viewed in a project view in the AWS Migration Hub. And you can get to this straight off the AWS console.